All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Going to be covering trade breakdown and kind of just my outlook going into the next week. I'm going to keep this one pretty short. I know I've got the holiday, so I won't have much time to record anything this weekend. Probably going to work on a few things in the Discord, something like that. So jumping into today, May 24th, 2024. We wanted to see a drive up higher to close out the week and kind of put us back and get us back in sync. Ultimately, with the higher time frame direction, we're going back at upside. Yesterday, we had some sell side liquidity stabbing down into a major PD array. So we had this daily breaker, and then we had this daily February gap locked in here. So we dropped down there yesterday. Figured that we wouldn't see any more sell side or the need to reprice lower. So we came in here, right? So we can kind of go back a little bit here. And we took 3 trades today. One was a winner for about 10 points. Then I took a loser for 5. And then we just had a kind of one that kind of just broke even there. Could have just took my 10 and walked away. Got a little bit out of a little discipline there. But, we'll lock it in. So we had the European Open, which is the London Session Open, 2 a.m. We had that marked. We had that nice drop below. Usually, most times it might put in a low day there. We have this nice normal protraction after midnight, dropping down, putting that low in, and then just making a move higher, making it for the low of the day. So then kind of coming into the New York Open. And again, this is on the hour. I like to kind of look at the hour before I jump down to the 15 to execute off. So we had this hourly fair value gap below price as you kind of traded back up. And then with the 8 o'clock, once you jump down to the lower time frame, you'll see it's like the 8:30 news that drives it lower, taking the liquidity necessary for that big move in the New York session that we all love to see there, that AM trend. So that was very nice. Nice price action today for sure. Okay, let's see here. So not the cleanest, but once I saw this stab here at 8:30, saw how it came up. This hourly breaker held pretty well. The midpoint, again, not as clean, but you do see the bodies of the candles respecting it. Once it's formed, you see the candles respecting it pretty nicely here. Then this is the 9:45, right after 9:30 open. So you're going to be able to see some witness, expect some volatility. Then at 10 o'clock open, got long right here on this order block on the 15-minute, and then we took it up for 10 points. So that was a really nice move. Or, I'm sorry, 11 points. It was about right here, 53.06-ish. It took it to about 53.17 up here. So this was a key level we had up here. If we zoom out a little bit. And now also if we did a swing projection from this breaker right here, that was our target. So we got that low to that high to that lower low. Drop down there. Boom. Standard deviation. That was 53.16. We took it out at like 53.17. So very clean, pretty easy move, straightforward, very clean. That's the kind of stuff I like to look for, what I like to call, my bread and butter out of the ICT concepts. Basically like to see that run on liquidity before, and then that was that manipulation in the opposing direction, and then followed with the 9:30 to that 10 o'clock window. You want to see that expansion in the higher time frame direction. So it's very straightforward. You'll see it every week. Those are basically all my trades out of the AM session. They all look something similar. And then once I see this, and especially on the hourly, this is the perfect roadmap for the intraday. The hourly and the 4-hour. If you see this run, the stop run on the 4-hour to hour, run a swing projection in there, get on the 15-minute and find an entry. Would either be an order block, fair value gap, buying on the stop. I mean, whatever it is, you name it. But you get in sync with those, and you can definitely do all right with those and see some consistency in that. All right, so after posting, or I'm sorry, after the week closed officially, let's go jump out to the month. So right now in the month, super bullish, right? April, we traded down into this fair value gap right here. In the Discord I was in, which I'm going to ping to the link in the bio or below this video. Traded down lower, then we know we wanted to see some buy side liquidity. So this is basically just a monthly order block, and we're now finally getting above it. We have like another week left in the month, so we could probably see some trading of it, but mostly the month's range is, most likely put in. We took major buy side resting above here, so we may not have the explosiveness maybe to continue higher until like June. Once June gets here, we get that new month. All right, so definitely expecting more buy side delivery with the new month coming up at the end of next week. Again, we could probably even look on the weekly here. A little bit of a down close week, but just barely. Okay, so we traded down into these PD arrays, this daily breaker, and this daily fair value gap. Traded down into those, sent the week higher, back up to the close. And then once we get on the daily, that same setup that I was showing on the hourly, where it's that low, high, lower, low, that's kind of what you want to see, right? And that's a very high odds setup. We should see some expansion going higher. I don't see why we wouldn't, unless there's, again, some global news effect. But even with the close, we had a nice strong green day today. And we got back above this short-term low that was broken, which is also good when you see that breaker. If that sharp move down, taking liquidity, stop run, taking all of this liquidity from the previous week, drop into a PD array, then we see this response, that's a good sign. So tentatively, once the week opens, next week I'm definitely have some buy side in mind. Even if we just did a swing projection, and we can take it, I would take it from this high, just give it some room for error. We could definitely get back over 50 or 53.50. Get a weekly close above this level right here, or this last up close candle. Get above here. And this high is 53.47.50, so we just call it 53.50. Get a weekly close above there. And I think we could push even to as high as 53.86. Then go into the dollar, and keeping this one pretty brief here. I'll have some more detailed notes in the Discord, again, completely free, where you want to be if you want to learn how to trade, be part of one of the best communities, one of the best growing communities out there. Definitely hit the link in the description and tap in with us. So dollar index, right? If anyone's familiar with ICT concepts, if you're completely brand new, don't worry. I'm definitely going to have tons of content to come, basically kind of laying this out here. But the dollar index and the S&P 500 move inversely. So as we're starting to climb, we should see some selling in the dollar index. So as we had a strong green day, a strong buy day on the index, we did have some selling here and we had a nice strong good candle, not wicks or the small body, very, very clean. We did trade up on this price swing, right, from this high down to this low. We measure that. We traded up into an optimal trade entry, right, that 0.61 or 0.62. Trade up into it. Bodies respected for the most part. These being daily candles, that's pretty clean. And then so next week, I definitely want to see us move lower. If dollar can sell off pretty nicely, I think in 103 could be in the picture. 103.88 is definitely feasible. I'll kind of just go to the week. Right, so again, we see on the week, this last up close candle for this down move, that's a weekly bearish order block. We traded up to it this week, and then we sold off into it. So now, since we ran up and grabbed that buy side liquidity, sold off with it, next week should definitely turn lower. We can definitely get back into the 103s, or at least get back below 104. There's some liquidity down here. We got this weekly fair value gap. It's going to be a major draw that can get us, as low as, we'll just call it 103.70.75. We'll take it there. I do trade S&P 500 options as well, so I'm currently in some June 7th 545s calls. Got 6 of them, so definitely want to see them see it move higher. Got the week again, traded down to almost this previous high, broke above it, traded almost down into it, and then responded nicely back up. So I think we should see some continuation higher going into June. And there's some seasonality things that we can have in place too that I'll cover further on the Discord. And yeah, you guys have a safe weekend. I'll tap in with you guys next week.